Okay, this is not a official Reason Files video. We're going to listen to a few clips here today, and we're going to start off by listening to David Berzins on his account of what happened in the corridor between Bruce Mejia and Reason Files agents. Now let's keep in mind that Bruce Mejia was in the hallway or the corridor with the two agents, and David Berzins was not. But let's hear his account, even though he wasn't in the hallway / corridor. Should be interesting.
And I'm calling out and rebuking by name the people who were responsible for trying to shut down the events and succeeded in getting hotels where we were holding conferences to get us kicked out. They succeeded. They succeeded in getting us to be annoyed. They succeeded in getting us to have to move equipment and have to tell people, no, now we're meeting here. They succeeded in that, but they didn't succeed in shutting down the conference, because you know what? Everyone who was scheduled to preach still preached. Amen. What they did was waste all of your own time. Troll, talebearer, Tuttle, and Todd of the Treason Files. A lot of alliteration in the title of my sermon this morning, because that's what it's called, is the trolls and talebearers. Tuttle and Todd, Bob Tuttle and Todd, I don't know what his last name is. I don't care to do that much research to figure out who all these people are, but they say their names publicly, so that's who they are. And they have the Reason Files is what their YouTube channel is and a website, but we call it the Treason Files because basically they're just treasonous against the Lord. But that's all they are, is trolls and talebearers. Now, they claim to be journalists. And I took a little bit of time, quite a while ago, when the first time I had heard about this at all or seen the website, I started reading through it. They claim to report the facts and be these great journalists. Their journalism sucks. Okay, it really does. Honestly, like this isn't, and it's not just because they're saying stuff against you or against your friends. You know, that's why you're saying that. No. Because I know facts, like literal facts. I know facts about people, I know facts about pastors, I know facts that are reality, and I know lies. And on their website, all they do is they publish a lot of lies. And oftentimes it's stupid things that don't even matter one way or the other, but it just demonstrates how poor they exhibit journalism. You know why? Because they're not journalists.
Wow, a lot to deal with there, but we're going to continue to listen here where he explains what happened in the corridor.
They're trying to get the government involved against the work that they're doing. You know how they're trying to get us kicked out of these places? They're saying, oh, look, we took these pictures, Caesar. They're not wearing masks. They're in your building and they're not wearing masks. We're going to call the health department and we're going to have them come down because they're not wearing their masks. That's the tactic that they used. Looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? They came out the first day when I was preaching. I saw one of these guys. They were sitting, and they weren't sitting, they didn't even enter. They were all the way in the back, and some guy had his phone out, and he was taking some pictures. And, you know, I'm preaching, so I'm not just focused on what someone's doing standing way in the back. And I didn't know what they're doing anyway. I thought they were just recording. And when Pastor Mejia noticed there was someone trying to come in with the side doors, he went out there because he thought it was someone trying to just come in, coming in a little bit late. And, the side entrances are locked because you want everybody coming in through the rear. I mean, it makes sense, right? We have our main entrance coming into the rear here. So you have people come, logistically it just makes a lot of sense. So the side doors were locked. He thought they were trying to find the place and open up the door. So he went out there and he said something, when they watch these videos, they say, oh, they exchanged words. You know what the words were exchanged? He went out there to see, oh, you guys here for the conference? And they were like, no, and they ran, and then literally ran. He said these guys are like middle-aged people. I couldn't make, because I asked him, like, how old were they? I'm trying to think, like.
Okay, for a guy that wasn't in the corridor, he gave a statement on what happened. What do we call this kind of evidence? Nevertheless, here are a picture of the doors that he's referring to. And we also have the testimony of the two agents. Also, after the pictures and footage was gathered, The agents apparently retrieved something that was lodged in the doors, or taking additional photographs through the crack in the door. Also, if they really wanted to be disruptive, the agents did have one of these on hand. Also, it should be noted that device was not used, according to the agent's testimony. Let's take a listen to the clip from the agent. Okay, this is Todd, and I'm with one of the agents that encountered Bruce Mejia at the hotel in Cincinnati. We're going to take a listen here. If you want to go ahead, sir.
Bruce Mejia had approached me asking me what was I doing around the conference, or was I trying to get in, and I replied, no, I'm not trying to get in. I continued to walk away from him. He aggressively pursued to follow me, and he was acting very aggressive, and I didn't know if it was a pastor, a security guard, or what, because a pastor doesn't come off as aggressive and violent, and he seemed very aggressive and very violent towards me, like he wanted to put his hands on me. So I got out of there in a peaceful, calm manner without violently putting my hands on him or harming him, or him trying to harm me.
Also, I'd like the listeners to know that one agent is there for muscle and the other one is there to gather intelligence or any other actions the agent takes that he or she sees fit. Okay, moving forward, Robert Tuttle did issue an apology on the Reason Files main page. I'll provide a link to that in the description of this video. Apparently, the apology was prompted by a video that was posted by Jeff Dollar saying he wasn't part of the action in getting their conference shut down. And for the record, Jeff Dollar was not involved in any way, shape, or form of having the conference shut down. And I seriously doubt Jeff Dollar would have the means or the gumption or the balls to do anything like that. Also, here is a conversation between me and Robert Tuttle. The apology that was issued was completely all Robert Tuttle. Let's listen.
I stand by that apology video. I think it was the right thing to do.
Okay.
And I think the Lord approves of it. I really do.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm not doing it to try to influence anybody else to apologize. That apology is Robert Tuttle apologizing. It's not Todd Ferguson apologizing. It's not Jeff Dollar apologizing. None of that. It's just me.
Okay, and then later in the conversation,
I still think they're wolves. I still think they're spiritually dangerous.
Oh, absolutely.
I still have every intention of going after them.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not giving an apology. I'm unapologetic. I would shut it down again. And furthermore, I believe that I'm going to be exonerated, and Jeff Dollar is going to eat his words, and I will feed him to him very humbly. Trust me.
Well, that's fine. That's up to you. Hey, look, I pissed you off. I know that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't do that to piss you off. That was not my intent. That didn't even cross my mind. I knew you'd be upset. And I felt bad about upsetting you. Because I knew I was going to be blindsiding you. I went onto Facebook and I looked, and you had been on Messenger for hours.
Right.
So, it was like, okay, this is something I need, and it needs to be done. It needs to be done now. I don't have time to try and find people and get their opinion.
so there you have it. I was blindsided and hung out to dry, and I'm one of Robert's good friends, and that is just the facts of the case. Also, I did have a conversation with Jeff Dollar, The conversation was unrecorded, and nothing good came out of the conversation other than me expressing my opinions to him, which he totally disagrees with. But on the same token, he tells me what I can do. Well, Jeff, I don't need you to tell me what I can do, but thanks anyways.